burn or vision inside of you, having that come to fruition. I don't need for anyone to listen to this and think like, oh, they're just talking like BS, whatever. This podcast is an avenue to showcase different careers and different people's journeys, very to provide more accessible outlooks to things that may not be talked about as much, to may not be shared as much, because a lot of the times people jump into these careers, jump into these jobs. Let me say that people jump into these jobs and they start hating it. This podcast is so passion focused. I am passion focused. I love doing the things that make me happy, and I like helping people find the things and do the things that make them happy. And even if you're not tech focused, the overall general messages can apply to anything. So I'm going to wrap it up and say take those answers, research, find out what corresponds, like what roles, if you are looking for a specific job or if you are looking to do a specific thing, look at what, falls in line with that and allows you to express those concepts. And another thing for my ladies and for just anyone who is having that lack of confidence, do you possess about 60% of the requirements? Because I'm saying this because I don't like when people count themselves out before they even really have a chance. Like before someone else tells them no or something like that. I need you to just apply to the jobs if this is something job related. I need you to just pull up a video on the skill and just like take a moment to do it. Set aside the time. If it if it's something that's just your mind is so blocked, 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, do it. Just do it. It's like I've been watching some videos about people cleaning houses, right? And or people cleaning up. And I just moved, by the way, so I am still moving, cleaning up, and shifting things around. But there are days where I come home and I just don't want to touch a thing. But it's like just start putting one thing away. And then after that one thing, then just do the next thing. And just kind of keep going until you feel like you're ready to stop. Thank you guys for tuning into the Be Insightful in Technology podcast. I'm your host, Shai, and I'm here to help you gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be insightful in technology. For today's episode is a bit of something different. We've been having a lot of interviews lately, and I kind of want to reground back into just a check-in. It is now the second half of the year. Want to be able to finish and start this second half strong. So since we are talking mainly to a lot of students or people who are looking to transition and change their careers, or those who are at the point where they really do want something more from it, one of the things that we have to remind ourselves to do is doing the hard things. And I'm going to say quote unquote hard. Little plug here. If you guys want to see the video, watch it on Spotify, and we'll be uploading things on YouTube as well. So just be on the lookout. There's as well, so it's called Be Insightful in Technology on YouTube. And if I'm wrong, I will make sure to include that. But this episode is about doing the hard things. There are a lot of things that we want to accomplish within, a certain time frame or regarding just different things in life. And sometimes we forget that what we call hard is not really hard. It's just we have a mental block in the way before we can actually get to the action item, the start of it. So a couple things that I want to run through is an example of, say you want, a certain job. A lot of, college students, high school students, you guys are just graduating, you're enjoying your period of summer break or your that time off, and you're just trying to figure out what you want, but you know you want something to make a little bit of income, right? So the things that I want to check in with you on is, are you actually applying to jobs? Are you actually putting your name in the hat? Do you think it's just gonna fall in your lap without any work? I put in silence there because I need you to think. I need you to think. What are you currently doing to get that job? And I'm not even talking about dream job at this moment. I'm talking about if you know there is something that you deeply want to do. Are you stagnant right now? Are you in analysis paralysis at the moment? Where are you at? There's one thing that people say, it's like doing the shadow work, kind of reflecting within, going to those parts of yourself that you ignore and things like that, to take it back into, this realm of look at your current status. What's going on? As I said, this is a check-in, so it's really time to check in. Take a moment, look back and reflect on what you did the first half. What'd you like? What would you like to change? What were some things that you know need so much more improvement than you're giving it? And let's create a plan after this podcast. I don't want you to just not do anything. I need you to create a plan. So if you're serious about making a change, go ahead and get some paper and pen or pencils, something to write with. I'll even allow it, put the notes in your phone or type it up. Just get it out. Get it out on paper. Let's see it going. Okay? But allowing yourself to actually set the time to reflect will help you figure out where you're at and how you truly feel about the situation that you're in. A lot on the podcast, we talk heavily about, being motivated, being inspired, just overall what it's like to be productive and progressive in a mode that is very high energy. Sometimes it's not always like that. And it's time to remember that those times are to be acknowledged as well. Another couple examples are, so we talked about if you want another job or want like some job in general, you have to be putting in the work there and then figuring out like what's not happening at this moment. You could be wanting to, gain a new skill. You're not taking the time to learn it. Or you're doing the interviews but lacking the soft skills to be able to communicate. And these are just a few examples. Just kind of figuring out what area in that sense is it's not really working out for you. Things that you for sure know. One thing that I do feel as people, humans, that we a lot of times know what we should be doing. When we ask somebody for advice and they tell us exactly like the things that we already thought of, it's something saying, "Hey, you already know. You really already know." So, if it takes for you to put it on paper to see it, to have a tangible look at it, for you to make the shift, I strongly suggest going ahead and do it. And I'll give an example for me. I have been wanting to have more episodes where I am more vulnerable with you guys, where I can kind of go through my experience and share with you kind of these steps that I'm taking, because the interviews are great. I'm also taking the advice of people, but I'm also in the part where I am at this stage where I'm contemplating what I want out of my career specifically. I have created this plan, and it seems that I reached, the end of it, and now I'm like, what do I do? I thought it would take way more time. I thought it would be way harder than it was. And now I'm just feeling a sense of like confusion. You know how when you, let me give an example. You know how when you want this dessert so bad, like let's say you want some strawberry cheesecake from a specific place or whatever, and you go get this cheesecake and it just is not hitting the same. It is not tasting like you thought it would taste. Maybe they put a little something different in there this time. Maybe it was a different chef in the back, but it is not tasting how you thought it would. So now you're just like, was it worth it? Do I even want to continue eating this? Am I gonna finish it? It's it's not living up to the expectations, or it's just you thought you wanted it and you just didn't. So now you're kind of contemplating like what happens here? Like what happens next? Am I going to continue, ordering strawberry cheesecake from this place the next time, even though it wasn't good this time or it wasn't hitting the same this time? Am I gonna go try something different because this wasn't living up to my expectations, but that doesn't mean I don't want to have something good come into my life, or, an experience that does allow that expectation to be met. So it's just a part of life. Sometimes you're disappointed, sometimes is mid, sometimes it's just another thing, another experience that you've had, and it's time to move on to something else. That could be it. So that is a realistic part of what happens within any area of life, really. So in my career, after reaching certain goals, I am contemplating what is next for me, and how far would I want to continue on the track that I am. Because I I don't dislike some of the things that I do. I enjoy what I do. To the core of it, I enjoy it, but I like seeing different perspectives of things. I love to be able to learn different areas and be able to touch on like all sorts of things that I can. Is refining the spark, or is it trying something completely different? That's where I'm at. So I'm just contemplating at this moment. I've been listening to a lot of the advice that I've been given, and I'm leaning towards finding the spark in it again. That's where I'm at right now. So that's what this second half of the year is going to be, finding the spark back in my career for the things that I want and I'm interested in. Kind of getting back in the driver's seat of my career. I will say definitely that I feel like I fell out of it, but I was still, hmm. You know how when you're on the way home and you know you're tired after a very long day, you're just you're just ready to get into bed as soon as you open the door, okay? It is it's like almost falling asleep behind the wheel. Like whatever you believe in, you're letting that take the wheel right now, and hoping that it gets you to the destination. But yeah, it just felt like I was kind of like drifting, falling asleep behind the wheel, and now I'm ready to wake back up and go on that 100 something thousand mile road trip, whatever. I don't know. but I really do want to get back in the driver's seat of my career. So part of this episode is because I need to do the hard things as well. And then I'm still gonna quote unquote hard things. Like, it's not hard. It's just releasing the mental block to get started. Like, what is really in the way? And most of the times it's ourselves. Is like, I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself right now. Most of the time it is ourselves. One experience that I had recently, and thankfully, Renee Wilson, check out her episode. It was because of her that I got to be able to be a part of something that truly ignited so much happiness within me that I just this is what sparked the true contemplation of like, what do I want to do with this? So there's this group called Girls Clubhouse out here close to, for people not in Georgia, close to Atlanta, not in Atlanta. But there's this group and it's full of girls high school aged, and they are learning like self development, and Renee had the opportunity to teach them engineering as well. So I partnered with her one day to teach them tech. So we did a couple of exercises dealing with like teaching them binary. And they were so interactive with it. Once I connected, how our phone stores data with how they like the amount of storage that's in their phones when they take pictures and videos and make TikToks and stuff like that. It was so fun to see how they were learning about it. They were so interested in it, and almost like everybody participated, and it was just fun to see them understand it. Like, they caught on quickly. They were so into it. They were wondering like, when am I coming back? And I enjoyed that so much. And I'm so thankful for that experience because it's something that I have like deeply longed within myself to be able to do. That's why the podcast is created, because when I saw the long-term vision of my career, I saw myself teaching at some point. And when I got the opportunity to do it in a real person setting, like, talking about subjects online is great, but being in person and feeling the energy and seeing how people are responsive in real time, it felt so different. It was it was like a fire ignited within me. It's just like, I know this is it for me. Like, I know this is it. So when it comes to what I want to do in my career, I had to sit and think like, I need more opportunities like this. Stepping up and speaking up more and talking, getting responses, interacting really is what I need, and being able to show people the different things within this arena of tech, right? So when it came down to it, I was thinking like, okay, how would I be able to do this more in where I'm at currently? More speaking opportunities, more like leadership focused things that I can do that show what we are and what we can build and how we all function together, and sharing those like concepts and being able to express them at every different level so that way everyone gets involved and they know the overall goal and they know that we're all in this together, and they can go and create and do with it as they will. That was one of my like exciting moments. So taking on opportunities like that, I truly love. And that's the way that I'm finding the spark back in the career as well, in my career as well. So that's my example on that. And I'm gonna give a couple tangible ways to do that, or at least how I've been doing it, that I'd like to share with you guys. One of the things as well is setting yourself up for the things that you want. If there are events in your city or near you or anything that you would like to participate in within reason. And I mean things that could be affordable, free events, or just connecting with people. Check and see what those are. See what's out there. Sign up for an event for a day. You don't have to make a harsh commitment. Sometimes it takes just getting in the environment to be able to see that it's possible. One thing I'm going to say things so much here. Another part of it is goal setting. Gaining some, when you set goals, you want to make sure that you're gaining clarity on what it is exactly that you are wanting to do. And that's where SMART goals can come into play. So, yeah, SMART goals can come into play here. And if you don't remember what SMART goals were, I did a episode at the very beginning of this year about setting SMART goals. It was really quick, about 5 minutes. I just suggest taking a listen to it if you need that like jump spark of motivation. But SMART goals are setting specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based goals. Bringing those back into this second half of the year to get some clarity on, where you started at the beginning. Kind of reevaluate those like checkpoints that you included in your SMART goals if you did them. If not, it's still time. But getting some clarity on this will really help you figure it out. And clarity could mean talking to people about it, seeing what steps they took. One thing as well that I would say breeds clarity is jump into one course about it on YouTube or something. Do the work. Especially if you're looking to gain a skill. If you're looking to gain a skill, definitely look at a course that gives you like that baby step. If you're looking to do better, like recreate your resume, one thing as well, pull up your resume as you watch that YouTube video and as they talk about a certain section and how to edit it or change it, go to your resume, pause that video after you listen to them, pause that video, and go edit that section on your resume. Go look at it. Go get another set of eyes on it if you're struggling with like another example I listed earlier with the soft skills, go practice with real people. Like call up a friend, call up your parents, call up someone that you may have not talked to in a while to give you some of that almost stranger practice, but maybe someone who can give you some real advice. But give yourself a chance. One thing when it really, one thing. All right. So when it comes to the career or the life that you desire in this instance, because I do feel like your career should be a avenue for the type of life that you want to live. It should not be, your career does not have to be your entire life. It could be, it's a place you go and make your money and utilize that resource to build a different type of foundation that you're really looking for. But what was I about to say? But your career should should be built with some form of effort. I have a couple notes on here that I'm going through, and what's your intention is one of the questions I had like wrote out. What is your intention with the actions that you're looking to do. Setting some intention behind it gives you that bigger picture view of my intention is to eventually grow into sharing this and being able to help more people enter the industry as is tech has changed my life in a certain kind of way that I want to be able to share with people. Like it's not just the tech skills that I was able to gain to enter this industry. It was the amount of networking and meeting with people and understanding that there was a different way of life and there was different mindsets and there was just different ways that you can build yourself so that way you know that anything is possible and you can do anything that you want to do. Because tech is so fast growing and the amount of things that gets created within this industry is it's amazing. Sometimes it just shows you that anything can happen. Anything. It feels like tech is limitless. And one of the things that I realized with yourself, like if you let yourself know that you're like limitless, it makes it easier to progress forward and do these baby steps. So, after I just talked about tech being limitless, I'm gonna bring it down to reality and ask you, are your goals realistic? Are your goals realistic? Is there something on there that is set for 30 years in the future that you're trying to do today? And I don't mean just anything. I'm really talking about what level of intensity are you putting into what you would like to do? This is a time to be honest with yourself and let yourself know that although you are limitless, what are you doing to contribute to the creation of your life? Hmm. Like, what are you doing? If you're just sitting back not doing anything, then there's just not much gonna happen. If you're putting in the work, putting in the effort, making the changes, some result is coming from that. And even if you feel like there isn't, sometimes you do just have to take a moment and step back and just look at how far you've come. All right, so I know I said I'm gonna get into some of the tangible technical tips. I have been working the way there, but a lot of what I've been talking about is make sure you write it down. The questions is I want you guys to answer these questions. Get an idea for sure about how do you want to handle the second half of 2024. Ask what do you like, what do you want to do? What skills do you have? And what are you currently doing? And out of those questions, I want you to get a subset of questions and kind of like ask yourself after you answer them is, does this allow me to live my truth? Does this interfere with my sense of joy? What want or need will this fulfill? And those are questions that allow you to look inward. We focus a lot on the external world, but it I talk a lot on this podcast about following your passion, following the inner burn or vision inside of you, having that come to fruition. I don't mean for anyone to listen to this and think like, oh, they're just talking like BS, blah blah, whatever. This podcast is an avenue to showcase different careers and different people's journeys, very to provide more accessible outlooks to things that may not be talked about as much, to may not be shared as much, because a lot of the times people jump into these careers, jump into these jobs. Let me say that people jump into these jobs and they start hating it. This podcast is so passion focused. I am passion focused. I love doing the things that make me happy, and I like helping people find the things and do the things that make them happy. And even if you're not tech focused, the overall general messages can apply to anything. So I'm going to wrap it up and say take those answers, research, find out what corresponds, like what roles, if you are looking for a specific job or if you are looking to do a specific thing, look at what, falls in line with that and allows you to express those concepts. And another thing for my ladies and for just anyone who is having that lack of confidence, do you possess about 60% of the requirements? Because I'm saying this because I don't like when people count themselves out before they even really have a chance. Like before someone else tells them no or something like that. I need you to just apply to the jobs if this is something job related. I need you to just pull up a video on the skill and just like take a moment to do it. Set aside the time. If it if it's something that's just your mind is so blocked, 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, do it. Just do it. It's like I've been watching some videos about people cleaning houses, right? And or people cleaning up. And I just moved, by the way, so I am still moving, cleaning up, and shifting things around. But there are days where I come home and I just don't want to touch a thing. But it's like just start putting one thing away. And then after that one thing, then just do the next thing. And just kind of keep going until you feel like you're ready to stop. But the whole message is just get started. Just do one thing. Or another example that a lot of people have heard is going to the gym. Like have your gym clothes on. Like just get dressed for it. Or, just just put your gym bag somewhere where you'll notice it. Put it by the door. Put it by your keys. Put the thing that you know you need to do by a frequently used item. Or group things together in ways that make sense, like or activity pairing. Forgot what it was, but it's in Atomic Habits where you kind of group things together where one activity will lead to another and then to another and then to another, so it all kind of falls in line like a nice neat little system. Creating that system in your life to be able to comfortably and naturally and habitually do the thing that you want to do. But this is just a check in for the second half of the year. It is currently July. I'm really hoping that you guys had a strong first half, and I'm hoping that it all ends strong as well. And of course, take some breaks, relax, but also remember that is your life. You drive your life. Like that is my insightful like moment of the day. Like you are the driver of your life. You're the driver of your career. It's about to storm here, so don't. But I'm going to, hop off with thank you guys for tuning in and just know Another reminder is you are the creator of your life, okay? You don't have to do something that someone else told you to do for your career. You don't even have to take my advice. I appreciate you listening to the podcast anyway. But take a moment to think about what you truly want out of your career at the end of the day. You can find fulfillment in different areas. It's up to you to take that chance to achieve that. No one else can do it for you. But thank you guys for tuning in to gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be insightful in technology. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Be sure to subscribe and like and rate the podcast and share this with anyone who needs it, okay?